Yeah, great. All right, so we're about to mix plaster. We're gonna start with the bucket about a quarter of the way filled up with water. And then we're gonna add the plaster into the water, okay? I guess you can pause it, but, or we can keep it running. Doesn't matter. It would be tough to edit this down. But, okay, we're about there. Not much of a, not really a quarter of water, but maybe closer to an eighth. Usually when I make a lot of plaster, I make way too much, and I have these gray plaster molds to pour excess into in case I make way too much, which is good for ceramics. So what we'll do, sometimes I do this outside because it's really dusty, but you take your plaster bag, get it everywhere. And you basically get as much into your container as possible and then pour it in. You pour it in. How do you know how much to go to? Well, it's right after you get a mound of plaster, like in the center. You're gonna make a mountain of it. I'm not there yet because it's not sitting above the water line yet. Not quite. It sort of needs to sit and hold like a little powdery mound in the middle for more than like, you know, a minute. So I'm not there yet. How many scoops is that? 5? I lost count. I guess we'll check back on the video. They're not full scoops necessarily, but now that I'm seeing more of that plaster stay above the water, that's a good sign. Plaster does set up, as you know, that's why we're doing this. So you kind of, at this point, you can't walk away from it. You're in the middle of the plaster pour now. So I'm gonna let the water soak that up for another couple seconds. And then I'm gonna stir it up. And you can, of course, use like a tool to stir it up. But why would you do that when you can get your hands in it? Hey, Rhonda.
You got a bunch of packages.
Oh, good, finally.
I don't think it's everything, but a bunch.
Oh, yeah, thank you. No problem. All right, so here's what you do. With your hand, you take it and you're gonna be doing this. That's how you stir up your plaster. You might get a clump or two. You can mush it in your hand, that's no problem. And you can mush up the clumps and get them back, and you can stir it up with your fingers the way I showed you before. You can turn the bucket, steer it up. Okay, and it should be pretty smooth. And it should be not super thick at this point, but you can tell that it's not watery thin, right? You can see it's kind of coating my hand in a way that makes me feel like that's great. If I need to rinse my hands, which this is a really important point, make sure it's not in the sink over the drain. I want it to be in this bucket so that it doesn't go down the drain, okay? Now, we're ready to pour. So let's go ahead and take this over to our mold. Over the side. And I want to make sure that I have enough depth, you know, over this. So I might come up to about a little more than halfway over my coddle boards, okay? Not over, up to halfway on my coddle boards. I'm gonna pour slow and not let it splatter everywhere. I'm going to hope that I have all my edges nice and sealed up. And I'm going to about the mark. You can actually make a mark with a pen or pencil, but you know, it doesn't have to be super thick. I've got a little extra here, and I'm gonna dump that in one of these mold areas. But you can take the table and beat some of the pockets, air pockets, up to the surface. That kind of helps to get things going. And you'll start to notice this beginning to warm and set up in just a few minutes. But you'll probably need to let this sit for a full 24 hours before you pop off your caudal boards. Okay? All right, hold that. I guess pause that there, Kate.